the sticks. Can't wait to see what their second down call is going to look like now.
After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. On the ground, this is Lamar Miller. Big hold to the 30. Lamar Miller. He's at the 40. Past the 20. Touchdown, Houston. Lamar Miller, 83 yards. And the Texans have taken the early lead. And personally, what a start for him to get in the end zone from that distance here on the first drive.
And it has the defense tearing up their defensive goals for the game, doesn't it? Because nowadays, when we talk to all the coaches, they don't talk about limiting yards per carry and those things. They just talk about limiting explosive plays, whether it's through the air or on the ground. And anything an explosive play on the ground, usually, 10, 12-yard runs? This one is way more than that. They got to go back to the drawing board and try and shut it down.
Fairbairn good with the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. It only took him 2 plays there to find the end zone. The last one, the long run, getting him in for 6 points. Fairbairn now to kick this one away. Returning it, John Ross. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Vick operating on first down. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Now, Charles, what's the mindset here offensively? You gave up the touchdown pretty quickly. Would it have changed if you had gotten a stop and it would be 0-0 right now, or no?
I wouldn't think so. I think in most cases, just down a touchdown, we're just getting started here. It should be a long way to go. You think to yourself, stick with the game plan, all the things you worked on in practice. But you have some teams that when they get down, their natural tendency is to aggressively strike back. And let's see if they want to get outside of the game plan we expect and try and be aggressive on their first series.
Vick on second down. Eluding the pressure right. He finds an opening past the 40. They get 14 on that one. Good for a Houston first down.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the third one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
They go play action here on first down. He'll get this one off to Sanders. Fast footwork by Sanders. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. 23 yards on the play.
I know some people express surprise when Barry Sanders catches the football because his rushing numbers get most of the attention, but he also contributed in his career in the passing game like we just saw there.
Yeah, he had nearly 3,000 career receiving yards, and I think that gets overshadowed by the over 15,000 rushing yards that Mr. Sanders had. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Vick will look to throw on first down. Got a man right side. It's Sharp. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 11 more yards that go around. A first down as well. That's the first time we get a look at the 2011 Hall of Fame inductee and 3-time Super Bowl champ Shannon Sharp.
Yeah, he won 2 Super Bowl titles with Denver and a 3rd with Baltimore. That's pretty good investment on a 7th-round pick. Also tells you we didn't evaluate him very well coming out of college, didn't we?
And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. I don't think it's a surprise they're throwing the football early. We expected that. They told us they were going to come out firing, but 4 for 4 on the opening drive. They like that.
They don't just like it. They love it because now everyone gets locked in. Your confidence jumps up. Everyone's easy about what they're doing out there. And by the way, they're looking at the sideline thinking to themselves and expressing, let's keep throwing it. We're doing pretty well.
And he'll take this one down near the 15. Only a yard on the pickup, so a good situation on 2nd and 2. It's now 3rd and 1.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play.
With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and it's Texans football as we get going in quarter number 2. And they're driving, but they come up on a 3rd and short here. Vick with a give to Sanders. And he's going to go backward. They get him behind the line. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1. 4th down, Vick. He gets it to Brown, complete. And he gets the 1st down yardage before he's brought down just outside the 10 at the 11.
Well, the field goal attempt was well in hand. They had that, but they decided to go for it anyway. Extreme confidence, it looks like.
Yeah, but I bet the defense is going to remember this one, right? They kind of rubbed their nose in it. On 1st and 10, here's Vick. And it's caught, and he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. Texans passing game in rhythm right now, picking up another 1st. Well, they're piecing together a nice drive to start this one. Seems pretty scripted and pretty successful so far.
And I think they did it without our help. Because you remember when we sat in with in the production meeting with them to talk about this, and hey, you know, how you guys going to come out of the gate? I know I offered my help with a few plays, and they didn't seem to want it.
I didn't offer mine.
You know, you were the smart one. Whatever they're doing, though, it's working really well.
They'll run for it here with Sanders. And he gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Houston. Barry Sanders punching it in from a yard away. And the Texans are an extra point away from tying this football game.
A touchdown run for Barry Sanders. How about this, partner? 99 career rushing touchdowns and 10 more receiving in his NFL career.
And a stat you and I were looking over before the game, at one point he held 34 NCAA records, and in his 1988 Heisman Trophy campaign at Oklahoma State, he had 44 touchdowns in how many games?
12 games, and I'm not sure there was more excitement generated by a runner than Barry Sanders playing for Oklahoma State.
So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back onto the field. And they had to wait a long time to get the football back. Probably not what you were hoping for when you got an offense that's humming.
Agreed. What you were looking for is the defense getting the ball back pretty quickly, right? Hoping for a 3 and out. So that didn't happen. You can't yell at your D for that. They've got to take care of their own business and reestablish themselves now that they're back on the field.
And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. Give him 9 there on the 1st down completion. To play in a tightly contested first half. We're back to Houston after this timeout. Fans, a reminder, I have a note card here that says ad-lib halftime previews. So I guess let's do just that as we'll hand things over to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando when this one reaches halftime. Did I do okay?
You did great. Not a bad job.
Hey.
But, you know, writing down your ad-libs.
If you print it, I'm going to read it. I'm Brandon Gaudin. 2 yards on the pickup there, but it's enough to give him a new set of downs.
Well, that was a pretty favorable situation there. What would you call that? 2nd and manageable? Smart play, too. Didn't force it downfield when he didn't have it. Just checked it down, let him get the 1st down, and that's exactly what he did.
False start, offense.
They expect this from the visiting team when playing indoors, but not the home team.
They're supposed to get all the advantages, right? The home crowd's supposed to help them. They forgot where they were, perhaps.
A false start backs them up 5, 1st and 15. From the gun, here's Watson. And Miller with it over the middle. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. They get the penalty yardage back, plus 5 more as they get it to 2nd and 5. Here's Watson. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. Will Fuller was the intended target, and it's 3rd and 5.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things. To the air yet again, Watson, and that is incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
He spins free. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. And here comes the Texans now. The last possession, these guys were able to tie the game with a touchdown, and now they'll have a chance to move out in front.
Yeah, let's give a big assist to the defense who got the ball back. The special teams went out there, handled things. They've got it. They've got momentum. I know they're eager to get out there and put it on display.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. It's hurry-up mode time for the Texans, hustling up to the line. 2nd down, Vick. He gets it left side to Johnson. Touchdown, Houston. Calvin Johnson, 71 yards. And the Texans are able to show off their quick strike ability.
And that touchdown gives them a touchdown lead before they attempt the extra point. What a great way to end the half.
Yeah, great job to put themselves in front. And now, see on the sideline, special teams defense scrambling, saying we want to preserve this for the final moments of this 2nd quarter. Walsh now for the PAT. Extra point up and good by Walsh. And that makes the score 14-7. Here's Walsh now to kick this one off. This is taken at the 3. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Heading out is the Texans offense as they get set to take over here. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the 2nd half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Watson hands to Miller on the draw. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the 1st half of play. To throw on 2nd is Watson. Throw left side complete. It's Griffin. The Texans going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the 1st half. On 1st and 10, Watson. The catch made by DeAndre Hopkins. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. DeAndre Hopkins as the 1st half is winding down. And the Texans are an extra point away from tying this football game. And a little time left on the clock, so on the other side, they're thinking, gosh, we'd like to get that lead right back.
Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. Here I am going ahead and tapping out the 1st half.
Well,
There's still time. They've got to make a decision about what they want to do on the kickoff, whether they want to let their return guy touch it.
This is taken just shy of the 10 here. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. 9 seconds to play, likely the final snap of the first half as it's 1st and 10. First down, Vic. Dancing to his left. Now he'll let it go deep left side. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. It's the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. And he will be brought down as time is now run out on this first half of action. First half in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
We thought this one would be a close battle coming in, and we have not been disappointed. But they are all even to this point. So to see if either side can pull away, let's get you right back out to Brandon and Charles for the start of the second half.
Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon. And ready to get the party started for the second half. It was an even first half, all tied on the scoreboard. And now here's Ross. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. First half showed us some pretty good offense. Tie game. We'll see what the second half brings.
And it'll be interesting because I think both sides feel pretty good about what their offenses are doing. Gotta wonder what adjustments are being made defensively to try and get a spark and maybe slow down the other side.
But here, do you change up anything on this opening drive?
Not offensively, you don't. You got everything going your way. You've probably prepared for maybe some change-ups you might expect, but overall, you like what your game plan's showing you.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. Benardrick McKinney there to make the stop.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
Here's Vic off the play fake for Sanders. That'll be caught over the middle by Moss. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. And almost intercepted. It would have been his second pick of the game. Instead, it'll be second down.
Well, this at least is the right idea. I think they've got to get the tight end more involved.
He had just one target in the first half, incomplete. Now incomplete here with the first target in the second half.
Yeah, should not stop them at all from going back to him. Find him.
And not even back to the line of scrimmage this time as they're on him quickly once more. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11.
I know the defenders are getting up off the ground, heaving a sigh of relief. They just held Barry Sanders to a -yard run. But Barry holds the NFL record for most carries for negative yardage. The all-time leader, 1,114 yards lost on his carries. But he balanced it with over 15,000 yards gained when he ran the football.
I think the pros outweigh the cons. And they're able to convert on 3rd with a solid gain of 23.
Some guys just simply have it, and Randy Moss is one of those guys. His big playability, once again on display right there.
That's what he's known for. He averaged 15.6 yards per reception during his playing days. Highest career yards per catch average for any player with 900 or more receptions. Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. Vic on the bootleg. Rolling to his right. Completing it to the right side, Johnson. And he's brought down. That'll put him at 95 receiving yards now as he's got a first down.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a first down.
Back now here on EA Sports. All even as we get ready to start the 4th. A field goal could get them the lead, but it might not be enough here as they come up on 1st and goal. This is Sanders, and he'll actually lose a little bit of yardage here. Back to the 2. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
Back at the 2 now. Here's second and goal. He's going to get it running right. And he's in for the score. Touchdown, Texans. Adrian Peterson taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Texans have broken the tie. And nothing special there. They show they were going to run the football. They ran it. They got it in.
Like old-time football, right? Hey, this is exactly what we're going to do. Straight-ahead power, and they got it done.
Extra point try now for Walsh. Walsh adds the extra point, and the lead is now 21-14. A 10-play drive that time, and it's capped off by a touchdown run by Adrian Peterson. Here's Walsh now to kick this one off. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. And the Texans set to come onto the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 27. Here's Watson. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Anderson. And he'll go out near midfield at the 49. A good pickup there at 22.
For many teams, the evaluation of tight ends has really changed. We used to wonder about how they would block first and foremost. Now we want to know how these guys can run because we envision them in offenses, catch the ball. How much yardage can they gain after that?
And that on display there for a good pickup. So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. Now a first down throw, Watson. He's got it complete to Braxton Miller. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Here's Watson now on second down. Griffin's got it, middle of the field. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another first down.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the first down.
On first down, it's Watson. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. The Pro Bowler DeAndre Hopkins, the intended receiver. And it's second down.
One thing I have learned, receivers don't mind high throws so much to the sideline, but do that over the middle to them, and not only are the DBs going to throw a little verbal trash their way, when they get back to the huddle, they're going to have a few words to say to their QB, aren't they?
Yeah, hung out to dry a little bit there on the high throw. Luckily, fell incomplete. To throw is Watson, and his throw's going to be incomplete.
Let's face it, perfection is something we all chase, whether it's playing this game or whatever we do. Hard to attain, but that's what they were searching for as that pass goes incomplete.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
Back 22.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. This is caught, and they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. They come up on a 1st and goal with this game still hanging in the balance. They'll try to punch it in with Miller. And they'll get him down just shy of the goal line at about the 1. He'll get 2 out of that run, and it's going to bring up a 2nd and goal. Back to throw. And that is, I think he caught it. He did, but they'll say out of bounds. It'll be incomplete. So he's unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark, really, start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here, or is he just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
Back to throw. And that is caught. Touchdown, Texans. Braxton Miller, a 1-yard touchdown reception. And the Texans are an extra point away from tying this football game. Well, the hard part's done. Now they just need to split the posts, tie it up, but then their defense is going to have to hold up to send it to overtime.
Yeah, no matter what. I know there's an inclination in it when you have momentum to go for 2 here, but if you miss it, you don't give your defense a chance at all.
Plus, it's been a good game. I want to see overtime. I'm selfish.
You obviously don't have a flight to catch.
Tomorrow. And a good effort on the return there. Gets them across the 30 to the 33-yard line. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
Man, confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. Successful start to the drive, 17 yards. It moves the sticks. Probably had 60,000 thinking pass right there, including us in the booth.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That was a big call, big guts on that one. And guess what? That run, it'll pay dividends.
Right back to him on 1st down. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. And now the Texans are going to stop it as they signal for a timeout. As they get it with under a minute to go now in the football game. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. Vic. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. Shannon Sharp, the intended receiver. And now it's 2nd down. I guess you can't be afraid to take those chances late in the game. He tried to fit that one in there. Nice job, though, defensively.
But to your point, it was a nice job of knocking the ball away. But you're also right. You can't be afraid to take those chances. That means your guys going downfield to catch the ball, they've got to elevate their game and come down with these in order to keep your offense moving.
And he'll get down to about the 26-yard line. And now the Texans want to call another timeout as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the game. And the Texans have an extra defender in the secondary now on 3rd down. Now Michael Vick. Over the middle, Sharp's got it complete. The Texans going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play. Vick now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Vick to throw. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's 2nd down.
Partner, we talked about this at halftime, but I don't think either one of us expected it to continue. Michael Vick has been bottled up in this game. This defense has done a fantastic job of containing his running ability.
It is so rare. They could never contain him back in the day. Remember 2006 when he set the single-season record with over 1,000 rushing yards. A game-winning field goal would be a chip shot from here. Let's see how they play it on 1st and goal. Here's Vick. They'll roll him out right. And he's in for the touchdown. And in the final seconds, forget overtime. They've just likely won this thing at regulation.
And that score in this time frame, that's like a big reveal at the end of a great movie, isn't it? Out of nowhere, almost, it appears. They get it done. How about that score?
Finishes like this. This is why we love sports. This is why we love the game of football.
So glad that we got to be here to watch this one.
Walsh now for the PAT. Extra point up and good by Walsh. And it would appear, barring some late heroics, they're going to get out of here with a come-from-behind victory. Here's Walsh now to kick this one off. This fielded at the 2. So some drama down to the very end of this ball game, Charles, on that final kickoff. They were hoping to break free, some sort of miracle play, but they couldn't do it.
They had a chance, and that was their only opportunity to try and